What's up, guys? Appreciate you watching this episode of RSG, man. If you may not know, we have just started our Discord channel, man. If you want to be able to sit down with us, have some conversations, have some banter back and forth, come see us.
We have an active channel where you guys can talk with Justin and I regularly, and we have race predictions.
And occasionally on Sunday, you'll be able to speak to Rod and I personally, and also we'll have guests.
And when we drop any announcements or merch, that'll be the first place you can see it.
And we'll also have some lucky fans be able to ask some questions to our guests. So hit the link in the bio.
Justin Gatlin is the latest in a long line of sprint sensations to emerge from the USA.
Gatlin got a good start. Look at this man coming through now. Gatlin. What a fantastic performance from Gatlin. It's all about Gatlin.
Ultimate goal is to be one of the best sprinters in history.
And what a fantastic performance from Gatlin, and look at the time.
It's the American leading the Jamaican at the moment.
He knows he is the world champion.
Justin Gatlin is the world champion here in London.
What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of Ready, Set, Go. We in the building. You know who I'm rolling with, the bearded one himself. But he bought back up, bro. He bought back up. Who you rolling with this time, man?
Man, we bought King David Oliver, man.
The King.
Dio, as we call him. Yeah, I mean, he going to underplay it.
The Dio.
He going to laugh at the undertone, but we know Dio to be very straight up, really direct, and he bought his bag.
Can you do your best Dio impression?
Listen, man. It's close to Terrence Howard. It's close to Terrence Howard. Listen, man.
Sound like...
We're going to go out here and we're going to run this race. Get this bread. Get this bread.
Yeah, you got to get this bread. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Name of the game.
He said, you want to win? I want to get paid. I want to get paid.
What's going on, man? He right. Man. What's good, man?
Everything's good, man. We run for funds, man, not fun.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? That's the name of the game when you're a professional. So
listen, David told this story one time, and we was at somebody asked, I can't remember. I think it was one of the younger athletes that was training with Bucks at the time. Said, "What motivates you?" David said, "When I look at my bank account."
That was me. That was me.
Yeah. Shoot. I look at my bank
I see all them zeros.
Yeah.
When I see them zeros and commas, that's motivation right there.
Yeah, that's all the motivation you need, man.
Hey, listen, I'm listening to him say this to me. I'm thinking we just had a real I sat down next to him. I said, man, what motivates you, bro? I'm thinking he about to say something real deep. He's like, man, when I open up my phone, look at all these commas and zeros. That's my motivation right there. And I was like, okay, all right, let's go to practice.
Yeah, it don't got to be that deep, man. You know, but I mean, everybody's got their motivation. Fame, fortune, attention, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I don't care about no fame, attention, whatever. I just want to make sure I'm going to be straight. You grow up a certain way, I'm never going back.
Yeah.
My mom, she was just here was saying, back in the day, hey, you don't want to live this life. So.
Yeah.
You're going to have to make something shake. Use your God-given talents. And, we all did that. So I go to college, got these nice degrees, had these great careers, went all over the place and was able to make it happen.
That boy had that. He was on the grind 24/7.
Always on the grind. But let's talk about that, man. You talked about where you came from and everything else. For people who don't know, he is the head track and field coach at Howard, alumni at Howard. You know what I mean? And then you went to Howard.
Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
At Howard.
Yeah.
I heard he got something there called the Oliver. I don't know what that is. If that's something the girls made up or if it's like a real
apartment. Yeah. Little apartment
what's
building.
The Oliver?
What's the Oliver, bro?
Dope little apartment building on campus next to our office and building. Grad students stay there, so our kind of transfer students, stuff like that, get the opportunity to stay there. So
hold on, so you got a whole building named after you?
We'll roll with that. Yeah, we'll roll with that. They got the posters is me running and stuff like that out front the building. So it's only right though.
Hey, I'm just a humble warrior amongst the king, bro.
He probably got Felicia Rashad number on
speed dial.
You ever met her before?
Yeah.
I mean, in
Dean of the Fine Arts, she did a great job. We had a young lady that transferred to us from Kentucky, Darcy Kahn, that came in and was in that program. So met with her, and it's great woman, great alumnus of the university, and really helped us out in that situation to make sure that all the classes, everything that Darcy needed was taken care of. So, but that's what we do, though. We always look out for each other. So that's the greatest thing about being a Howard Bison.
Man, I love Felicia Rashard, man. She is the greatest TV mother of all time.
Right?
To me.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
No, for real.
Mrs. Huxtable, if you didn't know. You didn't know.
So when you first met her, were you like Felicia Rashard, or did you call her Miss Rashard?
Nah, just our Dean Rashard. Yeah, everybody's you done got to these positions and earned these titles. We're gonna respect the people, but she was cool. You probably could have done that, and she would have been, perfectly fine.
Nah, man, you call her Miss Huxtable. That's what you
said. Yeah, she's gonna be Dean Rashard.
So being, a lot of people explain to me like what being at Howard is like. Everybody who I know, when they're explaining it as like, it is basically like a HBCU Ivy League. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, the academics are on point. R1 research institution, on the HBCU with that designation, U.S. News and Report, top 80 school in the country when it comes to the academics. So that's one thing that we're always going to have going for us. So now, job is to marry up the athletic piece with what we're currently doing academically, and the support's been there for that. So we are trying to, make our stuff top notch all the way around. But academics has always been the backbone of the university.
Man, I hear you the right one to make sure that marriage works great, because you ain't letting nothing else but dogs in your squad.
Well, you have to. I mean, we're out here, Tom Jones, the best college meet in the country, arguably. And I don't want to see, I tell athletes, I don't want to be scrolling down to see your name at Howard. We don't come all this far to go out here and be scrolling all the way to the bottom to see our names in the results. So they know what time it is. And it's taken us years to get to this point. But I mean, that's everything, no matter what career you're talking about, coaching career as an athlete. I don't know life of just coming out the gates and balling out of control. I'm not Justin Gatlin. You feel me? I got to come, start, grind it up, and then, pop out a few years later and see the fruits of the labor.
That's kind of your life story, man. Grinding from the bottom, man. A lot of people don't know. How did you get the track? Because I heard that you were a football player first.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, picked up track was, I guess, going on 17. And, I just went out because my friends were on the team, but I wasn't doing anything in the spring. And I would just catch the city bus to my grandma's house. And after a while, that gets old. And so I was like, I need something to do. My homeboy was out there, and went and talked to the coach. She was the math teacher and was like, I want to come out, join the track team. So she said, yeah, we got practice at 3:00. Showed up, he's like, oh, you'll be a long jumper and a triple jumper.
What?
And yeah, that's the first event I did. Yeah, because I mean, they're gonna put you in where they don't have anybody. So everybody was already sprinting and doing all that stuff. So of course there's no room.
How big were you?
I was probably only I don't know, maybe 6 foot tall, probably 165.
Okay,
so. I don't know,
right,
not
cool. Okay.
Regular probably, but I was sorry as hell. Going down the I remember going to a meet, I couldn't get on the board to save my life. So my teammates, that's why they nicknamed me that DJ Scratch, because I scratch all the jumps all the time. I was awful, but just by happenstance, we had a relay meet and they had shuttle hurdles, and my coach was like, yeah, you'll being one of the taller guys or whatever, and she was like, you'll be in the shuttle hurdles. So I was like, I don't even know what this is. I don't even know what you're supposed to be doing. And she's like, just set your blocks like we do in sprints practice. When we do that, take 8 steps and then take 3 steps all the way, as long as you possibly can, down the track. And I did that, and I, took 3 steps all the way down the track. And then when I got done, she was like, oh, you have a new event. You'll be a hurdler now. And then
hold up, that was your first introduction to hurdles?
Yeah.
She just said, get in the blocks, 8, 3, all the way.
As long as you can take 3, just try to get 3 all the way down. Now, I wasn't out there looking like Alan Johnson or nothing. I still have a picture of that me at my first little individual hurdle race, and I'm probably 10 feet over that hurdle, man. But I could 3-step all the way down, so I guess that was a starting point, and I was a hurdler ever since. And then I went to the next meet and won the little triangular, and I think I ran like 17 something, but I was winning.
Yeah.
And in the announcements in the high school, they talk about the performance, like, oh, shout out to the track team. They won the quad the triangular against whoever, and David Oliver won the 110 hurdles, and so then everybody's coming up to you in the school like, oh man, congratulations. So it's like, oh, I'm the man now.
Yeah.
I'm the man. So I ain't no more DJ Scratch and getting made fun of. Now I'm kind of like killing.
Yeah.
Not really though, because I don't know what times are, but that's why I don't care about the times. I just want to win all the time, because winning, that brings everything you need.
Yeah.
So that was it, and it was a hurdler ever since. Then next year was my senior year, went to the state meet, got third in like the 110s, and got a scholarship to go to Howard, and that's all she wrote from that point forward.
Yeah. So now you was at Howard, you end up being the school record holder there.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. We talked about one of your athletes that ended up breaking the school record, and Dylan Beard.
Dylan Beard, yeah.
You coached Dylan Beard to break your own record at Howard. What was that like, man?
It was cool. He transferred in. He wasn't really running that well, but I knew he was not a bad athlete. Most of the time the athletes are not bad athletes. Something just not working out with them. It's mainly maybe mental on their part. Maybe it's some training. I don't know, whatever it is. But the coaches, it's our job to figure out what that is and how to, make it happen. And, it took, 2 years, and he was able to go out there and, ran 13:28 or 9, something like that. Broke the record. Well, his first year he actually tied it. The first year with us, I think he came in running like 14:0. And he got down to 13:55, which was my personal best in college, and tied the record. And then the following year ran 13:20 something and broke the record. And now he's, killing the game, doing his thing. Really humble student athlete. And I know he's going to be amazing as a professional. He won the Grand Slam hurdles. Unfortunately couldn't get that 100-meter done. That's more like me too. I'm telling you, if we had the Grand Slam when I was running, I would never have been able to win. I would have never won. I would have never won the 100,000. Yeah, y'all see me sprint at practice before.
We see you do the 200s, bro. We see you.
Hey, they run 100 though.
I know.
I can't. I probably got 10:50 something at best. Y'all seen them fly 30s and stuff I used to be doing at practice. I remember. It's crazy because we had the free lap, had the belt on. I see them cats go down and it call out like, oh, 284 or 282. I was like, oh yeah. I'm about to cook. And go down there. Joy be like 301. I'm like, damn. Okay, but because we used to be like 2 or 3 sets of 3.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, that's just warm up one. The next time I'm gonna get. About if they going 2, then come to 270 something. Joe be like 280 something, and I'm like, okay, I'm up. I'm trying to drive the whole 60, and that's just still 297. And it was like, it just wasn't meant to be. If they took the hurdles out of the sport, nobody was ever gonna pay $1 to watch me perform. There's no way. There's no way. I was out of there, man. But yeah, I would have never won the 100,000, but shoot, I take second or whatever third is. Just keep working.
So with an athlete like Dylan, right? He had success really quickly under you. Was there a talk you had with him? Was there like a session that was like it clicked for him? Or did you be like, look, this is what we gonna do. You follow my lead. I got you.
Hey, look, basic contract with the athletes, man. Do what I ask, when I ask, how I ask you to do it, and I guarantee you'll be successful. Now, I don't know what the success looks like. I can't say you're going to win a national championship, go pro, do all this crazy stuff. I can't guarantee you that, but I guarantee you'll be successful, and you'll have far more success than you've ever had in your life if you just do that. That's just simple. Because, we're talking about the short hurdles. I can tell you what it feels like I'm not going off of just only the theory of the event. Now, we talking about the 100. Look, I've never ran 9 seconds or 10:1, or I can't tell you what that feels. I can tell you this kind of what the theory says we're supposed to do. But when it comes to the hurdles, I know what that is. And so, he was very eager. I had a lot of conversations with him. Like, I got people that I coached 4 years, brought them in as freshmen, that I can tell you on one hand the amount of conversations I've had with them about 110 hurdling, and they're a 110 hurdler on my team.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But he's somebody that, man, it's probably almost every day. And so he just wanted to. That's one thing. We can teach these athletes kind of what to do, when to do, and how to do something, but that want to, you can't coach it.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing, just like myself when going to the pros, like I had just too much want to. Like I was the worst guy in the training group when I first showed up down here to train with Brooks. the worst. I was at practice looking around like, damn, these cats been to the Olympics. They done did this, some medalists or whatever, NCAA champs. It's like, man, I'm the worst guy. I was like, okay, well, I'm just have to find a way to get to the top.
What made you pick Brooks? And you drove down there in a Corsica. If anybody know what a Corsica is, go ahead and look up Chevy Corsica. That's what this man was driving.
We gonna need all the people that does editing for our show. Put a picture of a Corsica up,
please.
Yeah, Chevy
so
Corsica.
we know what it looks like.
Yeah, I can't even remember. I think it was 1988 or maybe it's a 92 or something. It couldn't have been. That was too early. So I don't know. It's probably an 80 something. But I didn't pick Brooks. See, it's crazy. My senior year of college, I qualified for the Olympic trials. So first person in quite a while that had went to the Olympic trials as an undergraduate at Howard. And so I was out there and met a guy by the name of Keith Rucker who had the Holyfield International group at the time. So, he talked to me. He was like, man, I know you're at Howard, what you're working with. I think that if you get to an environment that you can actually do something. And I was like, okay, cool. I didn't know anything about professional track and field. But, I go to the Olympic trials. That's the first time I saw that. And I seen, Allen with Nike and these people. I was in the last heat of the prelims. And I seen all these cats from Nike and Adidas and this. I was like, oh, shoot, I figured they all trained together. Because, I'm coming from Howard. Everybody that says Howard, we all at the same place. So I was like, dang, no wonder these cats is running 13-0 and like they all trained together. So that's what I thought.
I thought the squad was deep.
I thought it was crazy. Like, dang, man, no wonder these cats are so fast. I had never seen anything like that in my life. But anyway, fast forward, I contact him again, and then he's the one that got me with Brooks and got me down here and finished school. I went back to the towers and put all my stuff up in these plastic bins, put them on a Greyhound bus, all my belongings to drive the bus to put it on the bus down here. I had like my TV and certain things, so I had got a Corsica and drove that joint from DC down to Florida. Ooh. It was like 13 hours or something. And, I get out the car, this is 2005 and, I got the Howard track sweats on, some Tim boots, a white tee. And I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get eased into, practice.
Yeah.
Cause I just got it. I mean, I ain't trained. I was playing football, I haven't done any track stuff since the June or whenever the trials was in 2004. Yeah. And so we went to the weight room with Randy Hadley, hell of a strength and conditioning coach. Went in there and, everybody looks at me like, oh, you're this big guy, whatever. But I didn't lift weights like that in school. And I couldn't even put I think it was a PVC pipe that Randy had me, overhead and just squat.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even do that. And so he just, from the ground up, everything was built. But, that's just how I got down here. And the next day we had 9 times 300. And I was like, man, hold on. I was like, I'm like, time out. I was like, I haven't ran in like 6 months or so. I have not ran in 6 months. But Brooks, he didn't give a damn about none of that. And I'm looking the triple jumpers, everybody's doing it. And I threw it was 3 sets of 3. After every set, I'm just over there throwing up every set. I was like, oh, nah, this not for me. I mean, I went home. I was living across the street from a Walmart down the street from Universal Studios. And I called my mom. I was like, hey, yeah, I don't think this is for me. I don't think this is for me. This is too much. Because coming from Howard, we never did, my coach, rest in peace, Mike Merritt, was a distance coach, so it wasn't like we were doing all this formulated sprinting and all, we just was doing block starts, running and, doing stuff like that. I had never done nothing like that in my life. And I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. If this is what it takes, this ain't for my mom was like, well, shoot, you better find a way to make it for you. You done committed to this, so this is what you're going to have to do. And I was like, damn, because I surely did not want to show back up. I surely didn't want to show up the next. I didn't want to come back.
You want to come back day 2?
Nah, no, this was day one was just doing the little weight room stuff because I was in the 10s and stuff. I showed up to day 2 for the 300s. I did not want to come back for day 3 because I was like, what's next?
Yeah.
But, you just gotta just stick with it. But I was like, this is ridiculous.
The only reason why I reference the Corsica and everything of that nature for our RSG family and our fans is to show how hungry you was. You wasn't an NCAA champion. You wasn't a name.
Right.
everything that's developed from your name is something that you've worked for, which is something you can't coach. So I say that to say if most of y'all want it, you would actually go get it. But he almost showed up to day 3. You showed up to day 3 because obviously we an American record in, an Olympic medal, a world champion, and all that stuff in. So after day 3, what happens?
Well, it's just like you can't be soft, man. Like this is what you said you're gonna do, then this is what it is. And yeah, but I mean, Brooks was cool because he just reminded me of a football coach. He was crazy as hell,
cussing at you.
Yeah. It's like but then the next week, like we went to a track meet here at the indoor, like when Florida had the indoor. We went to indoor track meet like 2 weeks later. I was like, I hadn't even been training. Nah, no lie. We went to a track meet and I almost got put out the group within the first because I was late to practice. Yeah. So I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? The training partners I had at the time, they probably knew because I took one of the training partners to the airport. Say his flight he needed to be at the airport at 3 or something. And we had practice at, 3 o'clock. I don't know. Whatever the time was. And I'm thinking like, okay, it's the pros. It don't matter if you go to practice. Hell, it's just you. You ain't running for a team or anything anymore. So if you miss practice or you don't go, it's just really on you. It doesn't matter. But, man, I got to practice. I was probably about 30 minutes late.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
And he was going crazy. I was like, oh, but I just took Corey to the airport, and he called me everything but a child of God the entire practice. It was like 2 hours. Like I remember doing the starts and doing all this stuff, and he was just going crazy.
Hey, he get creative too.
Yeah.
Come on with your taxi cab ass.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, okay, well, this is serious then. Like, man, I did not come from a place of a serious track program I just was thrown right into the fire. Into the fire.
Anybody who know Brooks Johnson, 2 rules, or not 2 rules, 2 statements he has about people when he believes they're serious. Is if you pay on time, and if you show up on time.
Yeah, exactly.
He said those 2 things will let you know if you're serious about what you're doing. So that was to that.
But it just took one time.
Yeah.
It just took that one time. I tell you, I was never, lady. I remember going to like treatment or something. I was coming back from treatment or something like that. If the highway looked congested, I called and was like, I'm not sure. I might be late. I know we got 45 minutes but you learn your lesson after one time.
Yeah.
Because I'm not.
Some people.
Well, some people, but that's the difference between great people and just average people. Is some people got to learn a lesson over and over and over. That's why they may be good, but they never are great. The greats never. You have to learn a lesson more than one time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I was like, okay, I can't be making this mistake again. Because I had never in my life, like for an hour and a half, that he was going but then we came here to that Gainesville meet, and I ran a personal best in the 55 hurdles, and there was a hurdler here, Josh Walker. He was the man.
I told you.
Yeah, I think he might have won NCAAs 2 times in a row or whatever. He's the best hurdler I had ever seen in my life. And we came here and I beat him. And I was like, oh, shoot, I could never get close to beating this guy like when I was running in college. I'd only been practicing for like 3 weeks. And I was like, oh, shoot. I was like, hold on. Well, I must be on to something then. I must be on to something. And I was all in from that point forward just because I was able to beat Josh Walker. I don't know. He could have been hurt, not practicing. I don't have a clue.
Could have been the first day.
It could have been the first day. I don't know, but it was because it was him. And I saw him, we had Texas, and we were in Sacramento or something. Maybe he made like a team the year or something. I don't know. I just knew he was the best hurdler I ever seen at that time. And I was able to beat him. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm 10 toes down, man. It's time to get active now. And they could with no context whatsoever. But yeah, because I used to. Mitch Potter was a 400 runner from Minnesota. We were roommates when I first came to Florida. We had the same apartment. So, I had to get up and I was going to work. I was working at Nike Town over at the outlets. I think from like 8:30 to 3:30, and then practice was at 4 every day. And he used to be in there just playing Xbox Halo. He was playing the game Halo, and I was like, dang. One day, I just want to sit and just play video games and stuff. I don't want to have to go to work and all this stuff like that.
Coconut Crunch donuts.
Man, yeah. I was like, I got to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So, but that every day for a couple of years before I got on and got contract and all this stuff. And But that's it. And I remember I was always talking to him about I got to get this bread and all this stuff. He actually went to the store and bought a loaf of bread because he thought I was talking about
No, man.
legitimate bread.
No.
Yeah. But it's just different cultures. You know what I'm saying? But he was a cool ass dude, and but I mean, he was like national champ and everything like that. There's somebody watching him work out. I was like, man, this is crazy watching these type of people work out. I had never seen anything like that in my life.
Let's talk about that, man. Your first deal, you know what I mean? What did it take to get your first deal off where
made the team in 2007? Yeah,
2007. You makes the team, and you have an agent at this time.
Yeah.
And they tell you about to get a deal. How does that feel for you, knowing you didn't come from like the greatest program and the greatest everything?
Well, look, Brooks always said, like, if you do what you got to do, you'll always be straight. That's the kind of what it was. So I just hold everybody, if you tell me something at face value, and said I do all these things, I'll be fine, whatever. I didn't know the game. So my second year in 2006, I won Golden League and was running fast, ranked top 10 in the world, just my second year out, and I'm working, going to practice, I'm doing all this stuff. And so I figured when I got done with that season that everything would be straight. I figured because that's what he said. But it didn't happen. And so I was like, dang, man, maybe this is not, I done went over here, I'm winning big races
Working
and doing
hard.
all this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired, man. This is like 2 years of like working and practicing and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't know, man. So I remember he told me, he's like, hey, look, if you feel like you're being disrespected or something like that, you can feel free to go.
Hey, Brooks.
Because I think he could probably tell, because when it didn't happen, and I was like, dang, I was thinking in my head, like, I remember running my first year in 2005. I was like, I'm running so I can leave that Corsica behind and get me a Chevy Impala, man. And then I ran enough and came back, got off the plane, got me a Chevy Impala. So then 2006 was killing. I'm like, shoot, what am I gonna do now? I'm gonna get to do all this stuff. I'm gonna get like some system. I'm gonna get some rims. I already got in my mind what I'm gonna be doing. I ain't working no more. I'm gonna be just playing Xbox and going to practice. And it just didn't work. So I had to go right on back to work. And for the 2007, I made the team. And then, deal comes. And then, that's why I never have a problem with Nike, Llewellyn, any, because they paid me for what I did in 2006 when I signed. So when I signed, I think we was in Oregon. No, we wasn't. We were in Indianapolis. I'm tripping. And made the team, and boom, they signed, the deal that was it. And by the time I got home to Florida, I had a check for like $25,000 in the mail when I showed back up at the house.
He was like, yeah.
I almost broke down and cried, man. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, because I remember, I used to go to Europe, man, overdraft my account and stuff. Like when I first got on overdraft.
You had Bank of America?
Yeah.
Bank of America used to hit you with the
overdraft
fee.
fee.
Keep swiping.
Yeah.
And like every swipe, they would charge you like $33.
Man,
let you run it up. Like,
yeah, I used to do that. And then I remember that first year running, and that first check hit my account when we was running. I went from like negative like $250 or something to I had about $2,000 my first year running. I was like, oh, shoot. Oh, man. Whew.
What was your first time like overseas? Because you telling the story how you kind of like had to figure yourself out in that program.
Yeah.
So now you're not running at Gainesville indoors anymore.
Nah.
You overseas, and we all know everybody get baptized their first year overseas.
Yeah. But I mean, I did well. I feel like my first year, like I won my first couple of meets. I was in Belgium. Nah.
What was the culture like though?
Yeah, it was way different. But everybody kept talking about Europe. Oh, I got to get to Europe. All the training partners, stuff like that. I went to Europe to the first meet. It was like in Namur, Belgium, and the second was like in Oudegem, Belgium. And I won those and got like 50 euros in a calling card.
What?
And we were staying in like a log cabin, and the food was crowded. I was like, this is Europe that these people keep talking. This is like this. Why does everybody want to come over for this? But then I got invited to the Madrid meet. And I showed up there and I seen this lunch spread was like 100 feet long. I was like, this is the Europe they talking about. This is the Europe they're talking about right here. I was like, okay, yeah. That was because
you're like, I could do this.
Yeah. Because the first one, I'm like, I run personal best 2 times. I got $50 in a calling card, and I remember I scratched that joint off to call my mom. It was at like a beer place or something that was at the end of the track. And I was calling to tell her, I remember a person about around 13:30, whatever, and the joint cut off like halfway through my conversation. You know, we had no cell phones back then that was calling overseas.
You had to go find a landline somewhere.
Yeah, so that calling card was clutch, but it didn't have the minutes on there they said it did. But maybe because it was international. But Europe, I was like, yeah, this ain't it. But until you start going to that Europe, and it's like, oh, yeah, okay. And that's just what it is. And, you know, even indoor, you know, getting to go over there, it was like 2006, actually. Your training partner from Tennessee, he won Worlds indoors. Leonard Scott.
Yep.
And so everybody would tell me, see, I'm just going off of what everybody says. They're like, oh, yeah, you know, you win Worlds or you win Olympics and stuff like that. You get your own room at the hotel. And I was like, oh, shoot. Also, that's the move. Cause you know, you might be staying with anybody.
You don't know.
At first.
It's a roll the dice,
man. So I was like, man, I gotta figure a way. Then I think we were at some meet or whatever. And then he had a roommate. And I was like, hold on. They told me that if you win Worlds or something like that, they give you your own room. And he was like, oh, I just won World Indoors. Like, and I was like, oh shit. So indoors doesn't really mean that much?
Is that what you said?
No, that's what I'm thinking in my head. Because they were staying across the hall.
I thought he said that to him.
No, because they were staying right across the hall. And I was like, okay, you know, and I was like, because I just asked it. Anybody I saw, I would ask them about what's going on because I don't got a clue still, man. I'm only a year in this, so I'm asking everybody everything. And I know he won Worlds and he got a roommate. And they told me if you win Worlds and stuff, you don't get a roommate. But they didn't say World Outdoors or whatever. Maybe it's different now. I don't know, but because I was trying to make sure I didn't get no roommate. It took me a couple years to make that happen, but I didn't have a roommate from probably 2008 until I retired in 2017. Or, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, damn, so you got to win outdoors. Okay, that's what it is. That's what I'm thinking in my head. But it's just simple things, man. I was very interested in what's going on.
Sure.
Yeah, everything.
After that deal, man, you know, some would say, man, you came into one of the toughest era of hurdling with Alan Johnson in America and abroad.
Man, yeah.
Alan Johnson, Terrence Shamel, Dominic Arnold,
yeah,
Lou Zhang, Dayron Robles.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like knowing you have to go against these are certified studs?
Man.
Like, certified.
Well, I remember the first meet I went to was the New York Grand Prix in I'm gonna say the first, but in America, like the first big one was that 2005, I think, New York Grand Prix that was in that Randall's Island. Mm-hmm. And I was in there, it was like Terrence and Allen and all those cats, Ladgy, and I was like, wow. So I didn't know what to do. You know, that's one thing, like Brooks, he didn't go to all the meets and doing all that stuff. You would go to the meets and be on your own.
You'd be like, good luck.
Yeah. So I'm sitting around, I don't know what's going on. So I'm just, whenever I saw Allen get up to start warming up, that's when I was like, okay, it must be time to start warming up. And then I'm just spending my warm up watching them to see, like, you know, what are they doing? But it seemed like they were just joking around and not really, like Lou especially, just jumping on. I was like, okay, I don't know. So whatever, I just do whatever. Because it wasn't, you know, Brooks ain't give us no scripted warm-ups. You do this, do that, put it in, you know, you just did whatever you did and you got to the line. And I was like in the B race of the A race because them cats was way up there. And there's about 4 of us in the way in the back. And that was like, that's the first time I had gotten slid on, like face to face like that. That's the first time.
That was new level for you.
Yeah,
yeah. First time I got slid.
Yeah, man. I mean, you see the results, or you might have been in another heat or something like. But that's the first time I had been slid. I was like, I think they ran like 1298, 13:0, 13:01, and I was like, I don't even know how it's possible to run this fast. I don't even know how it's possible. But Dartfish and them were there, the videotaping the race.
Yeah, I remember.
And so we went upstairs to that hotel, and Allen is the first person that showed me like really what to look for in film and how to break stuff down. I was like, dang, this is like Alan Johnson, like showing me like all the stuff. And then we talk on the phone later on, and like this like year or so later, we talk on the phone while YouTube videos and things like that. So like he was really helped from afar.
So
like,
he was mentoring you while you still was competing against him.
Yeah. But I don't know if he might have been thinking of it that way, but that's why I was like, oh shoot, this is Alan Johnson. Whatever he says, like
it's golden.
That's golden.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, I don't have no problem following directions. Like Brooks said, jump off the building, or I just go on ahead and go up there and jump off the building, you know. Or yeah, like, hell, he's the guru. I'm not the guru, especially early on. You don't know nothing early on.
Yeah.
Now you get older and then you start knowing, because I was like, you 30-something years old or something, you know what you got to do, and
Exactly.
you know your body, all of it. At 24, 25, 23, whatever, you don't know nothing. I'm just here.
You just don't go.
Yeah. Whatever you say, that's what I'm
So you
on.
learned.
Mm-hmm.
Alan kind of taught you a few tips along the way.
Yeah.
You picked up a couple of these tips. You incorporated it into your training or your competition.
Yeah.
So now you are a formidable opponent against these guys.
Yeah, it took a couple years. Yeah,
I
and we
mean,
made the team 2007. I think I got third for sure, but I don't know if we got to take 4 people. I can't remember, but yeah, I got third. I was like, I remember we were in Indiana, because that's when I went with Llewellyn and the deal and stuff I was talking about. I ran around there. I was yelling at them like, I told you. like Llewellyn, and them, like I knew it, man. But that's the first thing to get on and make it happen. But going out there, of course, like got banged up and I couldn't make it really happen. I got put out in the semifinals. It was like, dang, man, this might have been my only shot.
Yeah.
But it was just different. But then you go to, fall 2007, and that's when like Joel Brown, Aubrey Heron pull up to the group. I finally got real training partners to train with every day.
Train gang.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
that was the name of Brooks.
Yeah.
Train gang.
I remember when I heard it coming from college and you heard the track.
You're right. What?
What's going over there?
What's going on over here?
Yeah, man. But that's the first time, like every day, having people at practice that do what you do that were like way better.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep up in like any of the sprinting stuff. Like this fool Joe, he just run and run and run. This man used to be eating like a whole pack of Steakums right before practice. I'm sitting there like, man, I'm so nervous for practice. I know it's coming. I can't even eat. This man's over here just eat a whole pack of Steakums right before we go to practice, and we just run with no problem. I know I'd be throwing up all over the place if I did that. And he just run, sit down for 1 minute, get up, run again, run and run. I was like, oh my God, this guy is built different. I can't hang.
Yeah.
And Aubrey's really fast. He was like me, though. He was worse than me in the running. So I was like, okay, at least we're running 3s and stuff, or the 400s. It's somebody like Joel's going to be up there. I'm going to be in the back. So we always had a strategy like, okay, I'm going to take it out and then, just tuck in. And then Joel will bring us home, like in all our little long reps. That's what the plan was.
Yeah.
Just try to help each other out. But it was eye-opening to see that. But then we put the hurdles up, and it was like, hey, it's my time to shine now. Like I could get that done for you, but the running stuff was. But I mean, those guys are the reason why I was able to make a leap in the career, because it's different when you're by yourself training, and because everybody's the man when they're by themselves.
Yeah, I remember pulling up and understanding and witnessing the brotherhood that you created with Joel, Aubrey, and you could tell that there was like a real bond compared to like other training groups I've been with before, where you could tell it's like we just all train together.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. We just train. That's it. You know what I mean?
We were cool before we trained together. I mean, we'd be on the phone, do whatever, conversing, hanging out at the meets, whatever. It just was a situation where like, it was like, hey man, I think they might've both been at their college situation still. It's like, let's, just come together and let's make it happen.
Yeah.
So, and it did. And I think it helped all of us, but it helped me immensely, because I had never had a training partner in my life that was that good. And then you get 2 of them that could run just as fast. Because I mean, my personal best at the time might have been like 13, 14. I think theirs might have been in 13, 20 or 19 or something like that. And Joel was the man for us all that was in school around that time, because he was the first one that made a team out of all of us, because he made it right out of school in 2005. So it's like, oh shoot, Joel's on. Joel made the team, man. Like
Joel showing up with his USA gear on.
Yeah, he was the man. So it's just that's how it happened. So we all need nobody gets where we at by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We all need help and assistance and stuff like that. So it was them that made me got me to take that leap in 2008 and stuff like that. And then I remember we had that year where. And then Dwight came, and he was killing. We had like 3 of the top 4 ranked hurdlers in the world, in the same trainer. It was never Indiana, because we was all cool. And that's the thing you talk about when you pulled up, like Justin coming. That was the craziest thing ever to me.
I remember
because when Justin came, like it had switched, because I think that had to was that 2010, right?
2010.
2010.
Yep.
So at that time, like now, I done been to the Olympics. I, medal. I'm the American record holder, undefeated in like I don't know a year and a half of races. We killing.
You him.
Yeah. It's like
You him.
Yeah, doing all the interviews and stuff like that. And I remember we came and Brooks was like, yeah, Justin's gonna join the group, and I was like, Justin Gatlin? He was like, yeah, Justin's gonna join the group, and I was like, oh shoot, I was like, I don't know about this. Because I'm doing all the press conferences. We ain't stupid. We know what's the out there. So I'm gonna have to answer all these questions in all these press conferences, every meet I go to. I was like, man, I don't even want the distraction to have to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you didn't even ask. I wouldn't say ask because it's your group, but it's like, at least present like to all of us because it changes the dynamic, everything. Everything's copacetic, everything's smooth. And, it was, then he's coming. And it's like, we know that the questions will be, we got to answer the questions because that's all everybody's going to talk about in every press conference I went to. And then that's when, and then you was living with me at the crib when you first came down till you got your spot.
Yeah, I did.
So, hold on. What's funny is he's wary about you coming. And then he's like, yeah, you come stay with me though.
Well, I'm just saying because we had talked. And to me, Justin was the man though. We was all starting out, he was the man. Yeah. I remember going to all the meets and watching them and, just seeing the hordes of people following behind and that the whole group of them. It was like, damn, like, look at everybody running behind this handful of like athletes. I wasn't on, me and we was sitting out ordering stuff off eBay and stuff on the computers in the lobby and watching it, I'm saying, just kicking it, doing, that kind of stuff. And just like, man, I can only imagine what it's like. Then fast forward, 4 years later, then you see what it's like. They send in the cars to the airport. You don't ride on the bus to the meets anymore. But I told them I'm not getting in the cars unless my training partners can get in the cars. Yep. I'll get on the bus. I don't care. Because the same way that Alan told me, I forget what year it was. He was like, hey, remember how the sport goes. You get on the bus to go to the track meet and stuff. You don't know anybody. Then you get on the bus, you know everybody. By the end of your career, it goes back to you get on that bus and you know nobody. And I was like, yeah. So it's like I'm the people I came with, that's what I'm riding with no matter what. I don't care. So you had the cars, if it can't fit all of us, then we just gonna get on the bus. I don't need all that anyway. All I want to do is run.
That's real.
I can't remember which professional athlete told me. He's like, he didn't like getting in the cars either. He said, because he said, if you get in the car when you the man, when you ain't the man, you won't have to get back on the bus. And I'm saying,
well, that's true, yeah.
So you walk back on the bus, they be like, now you back with us. Huh?
You saw a lot of athletes go through that same cycle, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll be beep, beep, riding right past us in the car, we on the bus. Next thing you know, a couple years later, excuse me, can I sit right here?
Yeah.
He
said, you're back on the bus from the airport.
The car,
yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. But now, like when Gat came, like, I remember we was in the room playing the game, and I asked him, I was like, hey, just be honest, tell me, because we talked, like, for real, on some real shit. Like,
you told me that.
And, like, it was like, and when I got done, I was like, shit, that could be me. That could be me. Same situation. And from that point forward, it was like, yeah, I'm 10 toes down with Gat. So every press conference they be asking, it's like, whatever, but I'm never, because it's like, that could be anybody nearly.
100%.
And so, but yeah, that was a hell of a time, man. Be over there watching TV. It's like, this is fucking Justin Gatlin, the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, to us, it's still the man.
Yeah, just know.
Of course, like, Bolt's killing, he's the man. But, for us that was in school and we all the same age and we know what it was like back when we first was leaving and doing this professional thing, how, like, Justin is the man.
And the crazy thing is, I'll be up in the house with him. We sit on the couch. I'm looking at all his trophies. I'm looking at his Diamond League trophy, looking at his whole shadow box. I'm like, this is damn David Oliver, dog.
Yeah, it's crazy.
God, damn.
And that's how the sport goes. That's why 4 years is a lifetime in this sport. And that's why, like, every step of the way, watching Justin at practice and doing all that stuff. And when I remember when he went to dentist to train, I was like, he's gonna be the man soon. I told you, I was like, he's going to be the man. Because Brooks was great, like, developing and, developmental and doing those things like that. But Justin needed just that
last
extra, last, like, probably 10% or whatever at. And when he was like, he's going over, I was like, okay, like he's going to be the man soon.
We were doing starts with each other.
Yeah.
First of all, DL talked the most trash I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah. Listen, and his trash is like super disrespectful.
Oh, yeah. Listen, he would set his hurdles up next to me, and he would be like, hey, about to kill you in these blocks, dog. He's like, in fact, I'm about to take your block setting. Took my block setting, beat me in the hurdles. He's like, I beat you over the first hurdle. I was like, D, I ain't got no hurdles in my lane. He's like, I don't give a damn. I beat you.
Yeah. I like talking trash because practice just sound like a zoo. It was crazy out there, but I liked it because the energy was good and it kept me on my toes. You can't be talking trash and getting scraped up. So you gotta do well.
Can't be DJ
Yeah,
Scratch,
I used to
right?
talk. Yeah, exactly. I used to be talking so much trash to Joel, and like we had to start practice with a 200 every day nearly, and so he was great. He made Grand Prix final in the 110 hurdles and the 200. So he could slide in the 200, but I'm like, I'm gonna get him today. Yeah, so because it was just like it was easy. So he might have been out there about 75-80%. I'm going balls to the wall, so that I could I'm dipping at the line to beat, so I could just talk about how I beat him in the 200, and I beat him 5 times I think in my career in those 200s. We ran 100 of them, but I beat him 5 times. I let him know every single time about. We have to do it at the end of practice. We have to end with back-to-back 200s every practice. And then that fool would be so far ahead, he didn't stand a chance. But I love talking trash because it just kept me honest and made sure I could never get caught slipping, because turnabout's fair play, because then they're going to be on me. And Joe would start talking trash to me about beating me in the 200. I was like, hey, look, man, I don't got nothing in my contract about running 200s. I only the hurdles. So it's always some sort of, always something like that. But watching those dudes train was just so crazy. Like, Joel and Justin, Xavier Carter, people Xavier Carter was probably the craziest training partner I've ever had in my life, because this guy was special. We were doing grass strides in the fall, and I was running behind him, and it felt like the Jurassic Park footsteps when I was like, I was like, this man has crazy force and power application. It was ridiculous. I had never in my life. I was like, this is crazy. This guy is going to get close to a world record or something. Because any workout you would give him, he would just destroy. It don't matter what state he's in. He's gonna kill every workout. He might go lay down for however long the rest is, but he gonna get right back on that line and go again. Yeah. And he was the absolute man. He might have been my favorite training partner to watch practice. And Tiffany Ross Williams.
Tiffany boy.
Tiffany Ross Williams, man.
Tiffany boy.
She came
from the MIA.
Yeah, she came, I think, fall 2007. And I had never seen anybody work this hard. I was like, man, I don't even know if I'm doing enough, man. It's Olympic year or something. Like, maybe I need to be doing, because I had never seen somebody work as hard as her. That's why when she was winning and doing it, I was like, yes, that she 1,000% deserves that. Yeah. Because she put in all of the work required.
Between her and Novaline, it was like,
oh my God, Novaline
watching them
crazy.
train, man. Love watching them train.
Yeah.
Novaline was like the energy god. She was like,
never would be tired.
The female version of Elephant Man. Like she just run
with perfect form, no matter what.
One tempo, just fast.
One tempo, yeah.
Ain't no changing gear, just one tempo, just fast.
Yeah. She'll catch you with this tempo and she'll burn your ass with this tempo too.
Exactly. It was just amazing. That's one thing I loved about just being on the elite level is just watching athletes train. And just watching. I remember I changed my blocks from 8 steps to 7. We started working on that like 2008. And I went to Lausanne. We had a meet there. And Robles was at practice. He was already doing 7. And his coaches helped me set it up properly. With the, he didn't even speak English, Santiago, but he did whatever little and set the blocks and put some little stuff down, and we was practicing to the first hurdle, me and Robles, in 2008 before the Lausanne meet. And I was like, oh shoot, this is not as hard as I thought it was.
Wow.
But I never did it in a meet, but just at practice.
But I'll never be sprinters.
Yeah. Y'all are
never
crazy.
Be sprinters.
What was more special for you, man? Your first medal or your first sub 12? I mean, sub 13, where sub 12 is ridiculous.
I know. Yeah, that's right. I know what you're saying. I mean, it's probably always going to be getting medals because, I mean, that's what everybody talks about in the sport. And I was never one that was obsessed with times and stuff. I just like to win. So it was really, you know, just being able to, I mean, of course, there's 3 winners when you go to the Worlds and Olympics and stuff like that because you won something. 4th is just, damn, 4th is, man, because I got 4th one time too by like a couple hundreds of, about a couple of thousandths of a second or something, I think. But yeah, that's tough. But yeah, probably getting the medal, that was, because that puts you on. You on now. But it's easy to be on and be put back off if you don't do what you're supposed to do. Because the next year, I got hurt in practice running one of them 200s, and I couldn't even go to U.S. champs or nothing like that. Shoot, we at the house, and Joel, they packing up to go to the U.S. champs, and I'm just at the house. I couldn't even turn on the TV and watch.
Damn.
Like, I just sat in the room in the dark. That was probably the most down was that 2009.
Yeah.
But, and then, you know, try to come back and get hurt again at like Brussels and stuff. It's like, damn. I was like, damn, I'm on, man. And now, you know, now I might not be on anymore because, you know, it World Championships the next year. So it's 3 new people.
Yeah.
Because I think, who won the World Championships? Oh, Ryan Braithwaite from Barbados.
Barbados,
yeah. He won.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won in 2009. So I couldn't watch the World Championships. I just couldn't even watch track anymore because I was down with that calf. I was out for a long, long time. And I saw that he won on the results and stuff. And I was like, okay, well, next year, every time I see him, he's never going to beat me.
Yeah.
That's what I thought every time. I was like, he's never going to beat me. Because I know he won the Worlds, but I feel like if I was running, I probably could have won too. I probably could have won.
Yeah.
So I was like, every time I saw him, I was like, every meet, I don't even care what meet. It probably could have been a Disney invite, Tom John. I don't even know what meets we ran at. I'm not even sure, but I just thought about that all the time. I got to beat him. And in 2010, and, you know, I was winning and running fast and, you know, American record a couple times and did great.
So what did that feel like when you broke the American record? Even though you say you're not really worried about times, it was a monumental moment.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about the hurdlers that America had at that time. So to be like the fastest, I don't think record holders is the best. Not all of them. It's just you the fastest.
Yeah.
I don't think you're the greatest of all time because you got a record or something like that. Because Allen maybe never had a record, the world record or something like that, but he was the greatest hurdler of all time at that time to me. And so, but I mean, it was cool because, you got that 100,000, that check was coming in. That direct deposit was going to hit for that 100,000.
Them commas and zeros.
Man, look here. And then, you know, setting it twice, you know, you getting, and then now contract bigger, everything is great. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm in there. That's what I like the most. So, I mean, I didn't really think about the time, but it was great to, and then be on the cover of Track and Field News Magazine. That was the thing that everybody wanted. Well, I don't know about everybody, but me.
No, that's what we wanted.
Yeah,
that's what we need to be.
I wanted to be on the cover of Track and Field News Magazine. And I was on the cover of Track and Field News Magazine. And I was like, yeah, see, we in there. And the spikes that, I was, of course, a Nike athlete or whatever, but back then you could like Nike ID spikes. So I made my own spikes on there to run in. You know, I didn't even wear the spikes that they send because I wanted to put my name on the back.
Yeah.
I feel like Oliver on one shoe, sub 13 on the other.
Yeah.
And then, so I remember they were saying like, oh, you know, we're getting a lot of calls about what shoes you're wearing, you know, so they were like, and I was like, yeah, I want to have mine personalized. And then that's when Nike and them would personalize my shoes and do all that stuff. That's what you were in the sport for. Just like getting that gold medal uniform.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shoot, you got to win to get that. So I got to win so I can look different, get the gold medal uniform. So I had that a couple of times in my career.
You ain't had that every time. I'm going to tell this story. Remember one time we came to Florida Relays, we all drove. This is, I think, after he got the American record, because this man, he bought that, he came in.
The big body jack.
He bought that plump jack. Look, listen, he didn't even park over there. They let him park. You know, they don't let none of the athletes park like right in the front. He came through, he's like, hey, move the barricade. He whipping, he wind on and he gonna stun on you. He's like, yeah, right, you like this? Just bought this boy. Swing on in. Parks, get out. You know, we all sitting on the wall. He talking to our group. This is before you get to Dennis. And he's talking to the group. He's like, man, I'm upset, man, and did all this shit and worked hard, man. They didn't send me the wrong uniform. I'm the winner, man. I need to be in my gold medal uniform.
Yeah, because they gave me a like the black and red when it was supposed to be like black and gold.
Yeah,
I was like, I opened. I couldn't wait till that shipment came because I knew I was like, oh yeah, it's in here. It's in here somewhere.
He's looking all under it.
Yeah, and so I had to run that race.
Like, maybe it's reversible. Hold on, let me turn it inside.
Yeah, I had to run that race because that's all I looked forward to. When I saw that Allen had one in 2000 and or maybe it was Lu Zhang or something. It was a reptile green and blue one that we had at.
They gave us a reptile gold.
You had that, the golden with
that was 05. The 05
black,
golden,
the black reptile chest joint. I was like, how do you get that? And it was like, oh, you got to win the gold medal. Or I was like, oh shit. I was like, well, I probably ain't getting one of these. No, this is my first year because that was that 2006 season for the people that won Worlds or whatever. And I was like, that is so sweet. Then the polka dot one the next year in 2007. That was Allen had that black and gold. We had like ours was like yellow and gray or something like that. I was like, dang, look at that. You got to have the spikes to match too. I was like, man, I got to get there. And I got there.
I think the coolest thing I saw from you in your success was you was on McDonald's bag, bro, and a Coca-Cola can.
No, not even that, bro. When you went to Miami airport, if you traveled through Miami airport, they had a billboard maybe about 20 feet long, and it was him going over the hurdle.
Crazy, though.
You know how you walk in and you know somebody, you walk in, you look, you say, oh, they got a hurdle. David? It's David? Not even
man,
that.
It was crazy, man.
You opened the Jet magazine. Guess who won the Ebony Man of the Week?
Yeah.
Now you start to come into your fame and all of that. Listen, my sister had a crush on you for so long, but there's a lot of women that had crushes in your career. But when you started to get that fame and all of that, man, what was that like for you? You started to get all that attention.
Yeah, it was cool because, with all that stuff, checks was coming with it. So you could buy it, another house, get a house built. You could, you stack up. Like that's all I thought about was just stacking up.
Yeah.
And that's what I, every time it was like, but then you run into trouble. That's why I always say you just chase happiness and good management. Everything else will, fall in place. Because I was anybody that was, hey, here's, AT&T, TD Ameritrade, Coke, this. I was everything. Signed up for everything. But then that comes with something too, because now you're missing all this practice because you flying over here to Utah to do this, flying overseas to do
photo
this,
shoots
flying
and everything.
to do this. And then it's like next thing you know, the season's here and you done missed probably a month of training through all this pictures and videos and all this stuff. So it's like a prices to be paid for that. And it was like, wow, so if this happened, I'm not doing this again. Like, 'cause it was a lot, but it was really cool because then, your mom, your grandma, your friends, everybody's over there, like, taking pictures of stuff and sending it to you like, oh my God. And all you're doing is there's people that want what you got and they see that like, oh man, I got to whip his ass. Just like I was thinking about in 2010. So he's like, man, I got to beat this guy because he's the man. So if I want to be the man, that means you got to beat this guy.
Yep.
And now everybody got to whoop your ass. That's the name of the game.
So, speaking of competition, who was your toughest opponent and who did you love racing against the most?
Man, it's like it always just depends on the day because, look at we was out there. It might have been a time we had about, 4, I think everybody's personal best might have been 12 seconds that would be lining up in the field at times. So you can never worry about them other people because you're gonna fall down. Yeah. Like, that's why I only worried and focused on the barriers. That's it.
Yeah,
because they're the constant. The only variable is me. And if you out there look like, oh shoot, you're gonna be on the ground.
He ain't lying, bro. Like when they locked up, like that era of hurdlers. I remember indoor Doha in 2010.
Oh man, yeah.
Him, Robles, Terrence Trammell,
Lou,
and Lou locked up, bro, for the 6th. Bro, you got the bronze medal.
Bronze medal,
and he ran 7.3, bro.
Yeah,
and got bronze, bro.
Man, I remember that shit. That was crazy because I was never really that great of an indoor runner, in my opinion, because my start was not the greatest, but. I think I might have been in lane 8 because the semifinals didn't go well, and they were using this speaker for the gun, and people were complaining about it. So I remember going out there, I put that speaker and over so to lane 8, angled that to my lane so I could like be in the bang. I'm trying whatever little thing, because I think Lou might have been in 7 or something, and I was like, dang, if I want to try to get a medal or something, I'm gonna have to. I cannot see Lou. But you're gonna see him. It's gonna be like this, though. He's never gonna fold.
Yeah.
But I was able to get bronze. I was like, wow, that might have been the best medal that I feel like I ever got, was that medal, was that indoor bronze, because it was extremely
even over 13 gold.
Yeah, because that one I just knew. I knew there's nobody that was gonna beat me. Like, there's no.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have won that race by, I don't even know what second place time was, 13, 15 or 16. It was not that close.
Yeah.
And I was extremely confident at that time and healthy. So I knew, I was like, yeah, going in there, as long as I don't mess it up, I'm winning.
It's your time.
Yeah, 100%.
That was a tough race. I was there personally for that one, because you watch Robles like jog like 7.5s and 7.4s. Like, I'm talking jog, like literally, like hurdle over 3, hop over 4, hop over 5, 750.
Yeah, just easy. I remember the first time I ever heard of him was at that Indoor World Championships. Maybe that was 2005. And I was like, somebody ran Terrence to the tape at World Championships. I was like, who is this? Robles? I was like, and it said he was like maybe 19 or 20 or so. I was like, this guy's 19. I was like, oh my God, this dude's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem. And clearly, it was like one of the greatest. I wish he would have been able to stay healthy, but I mean, that's just how it ends for us all. Really, is just the health part.
He won that Indoor Worlds, right?
Nah, he got second by like maybe a couple hundred. Oh, the one that in 2010, he won. Yeah, he won.
Bro, he snuck, like, he got a bad start that time, but David got the first good start.
Man.
And you watch Robles like climb and reel everybody back.
Because Terrence was sliding,
and
man.
He caught them literally at the line to win. It was like 7-3, 7-3, 7-3. It was like 7-3.
Like Terrence, he was, when I was in college and stuff, he was my favorite hurdler ever. Because I was watching the Olympics my freshman year, and everybody kept talking about like, oh man, he's in college, hurdlers, they don't really do. I was like, oh, this dude must be special. Or so it's like, I'm like, just follow him and see what he does. I was like, maybe he'll come back to school and I may be able to race him. Of course, I don't know nobody going to the Olympics and coming back to college after winning silver medal and stuff. Ain't nobody coming back.
Yeah, I saw Terrence, man, and Terrence was definitely special, man, because I remember, even though Terrence was a hurdler, I remember when I was in high school, he was the first sprinter I remember being on the front of an East Bay magazine.
Oh, yeah.
And he had them blue spikes with only 5 prongs from
Mizuno
spikes.
Yeah. And it was like $250, man.
Yeah.
Like
back then
in like 2000, 2001, that was unheard of. Me too. Those spikes, and then those, I think the Marion Jones that were silver and the blue with the strap. Those are the ones. Those are the two that everybody.
Everybody definitely wanted, man. Let's talk a little bit about you. After you retired in 2017, man, you returned back to your alma mater.
Yeah.
The program is not that well, track and field, but now you are measuring up to a lot of the Power 4 schools with what you've done at Howard. Several titles and everything else. You're back at being the king at your home, man. What is that like, man?
I mean, it was just by happenstance, because I was we were at USA Championships in Sacramento, and I had been hurt a lot that year, and I was ran the semifinals, and I got done, and I was like, man, my groin's feeling funny again. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I didn't even warm up for the final. I just sat underneath the tree, and I was like, yeah, this is about to be my last race. I'm done. And went out there, ran, I don't know what, I got like 5th, something like that in the final. And I just got my stuff. My family was there. I was like, that was my last race, man. I'm done. And everybody's like, what? Like,
that, dog.
Yeah. When I'm done, I'll be out, So I went back to the hotel, called my manager, said, hey, just take me out all my races. I'm done. They're like, well, are you sure? Is that? Everybody's like, oh, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm 100% sure. I'm done. And then it was crazy, because then it went back home to Denver. Like the next week was like 4th of July or whatever. So spent 4th of July out there, come back. And that's when the AD and associate AD from Howard called and was just asking about, the program. They were going a different direction with the coach they had to come up. So they flew me up there to just talk about the program. They didn't know I retired. I didn't make any press release or farewell tour, all that stuff. So this is July, and then one thing came to another. The president flew me out to Stanford and offered me, basically offered me the job to take over the program. And I was like, dang, this must be what I'm supposed to be doing. Because I mean, think about it. Like if I was like, okay, now I'm gonna just finish this season out, then I'm gonna just call it a career. At the end of the year, I'm gonna just see this one out. I still got another year or so on my Nike contract and this, that, and the third. And but now I was like, yeah, I'm done. And that's one thing. Another thing, like, Lou and them, they just like, yeah, cool. Thanks for everything. We're not, you pay you for, even though we're not running. I'm not running their stuff. They still contract was kept. Even though I'm over here coaching and do. That's why, I mean, people, say certain things about Nike or whatever. I don't have that experience. So my individual experience was fantastic. With Lou and all of them, because they was always down and always, was straightforward and it was always straight. But anyway, yeah, I was, coach at Howard like about 6 weeks later, and yeah, the program was down, of course, but our athletic director, Kerry Davis, and president at the time, Dr. Frederick, they were down with trying to get the athletics back to, built back up. So once again, they just, invested. Best thing is I can, basically just do whatever is needed to do to make sure that we're competitive and, we're supported. And here we are able to, to get the student athletes to buy in and perform. Because that's what you got to do. Once again, I can teach them what to do, when to do, how to do, but that why they got to, and that's when recruiting just try to figure out, like, man, who's got a relevant why that will be able to help elevate the program.
Yeah.
And now we're getting to the point where it's like, we're trying to, hopefully we can try to crack top 25 at the end of the year in the national rankings. That would be a huge win for us. So that's the goal, but we always got to have a goal in mind and everybody got to be on board. We got to, all our oars got to be rowing in the same direction, from coaches, staff, athletes, everybody. And I mean, I think we do a pretty good job. So just going to keep it going.
What would be your advice to an athlete who's trying to get to Howard? Like, how would they try to get there based on athletic scholarship and based on academics? Because now that the program's turning on, I know a lot of our kids are looking for an HBCU experience, and it's one of the better experiences at Howard. You know what I mean? What kind of advice would you have for any athlete trying to get there?
Start early. The classroom is going to matter 100%. I don't get leeway with admissions or whatever, like let this guy in, let this girl in, whatever. You got to be able to gain admissions kind of on your own accord with whatever your test score, GPA, all that stuff is. So got to take the classroom serious. That's the name of the game, because the performances, I mean, honestly, I tell the people all the time, like 99% of the people you race against in high school, they suck. That's just the reality. Because everybody's the man, no matter what school you show up to. But like on mile split, there's probably, I don't know, I think it goes to 50 names per page, right? On like 100-meter sprinters. And there's probably 100 pages of people that have ran the 100 in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
So, 100 times 50, I'm not no math whiz, but that's a hell of a lot of people. And of that list, there may be 20 that'll go to Division I school or something and get $1 to run track. So that really means about 99% of the people, they not that good. So you got to be able to elevate when you get from high school and thinking that's the end all be all, to come in here where everybody is amongst that 1% that was able to transition from high school to college. And then you got to find a way to become the 1% of this, which is even harder. So it's really just the mindset. Yeah, that's what's gotta have, because everybody thinks that they're good. I thought I was good in high school. I was running 14:25 when I left high school in the 110 hurdles. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, well, of course you got to investigate the story, all that stuff. Because I mean, if anybody actually was recruiting and they showed up to Denver, Colorado and looked me face to face and saw, and I was like, yeah, I just started running this event last year. And they're like, oh, you was running 17 and 14 too. And you look at me, 6'3", whatever, 180 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, I might be able to do something here. That's what my coach at Howard did. He flew out there. I was writing letters all the time. He flew out there, saw me, gave me a scholarship right on the spot. I remember the phone call. He called me and was like, I'm gonna come to the regional meet. If I like what I see, I'm gonna give you a scholarship. I got off the phone. I told my mom I'm going to Howard. And then she was like, oh, what do you mean? I was like, because the coach just said he's coming out here for the region meet, which was that week. And he said if he likes what he sees, then he's going to give me the full scholarship. And I know he's going to like what he sees, so that's where I'm going. And, yeah. So
you already knew what it was.
Yeah. I never lack for self-confidence, man.
Yeah.
Never lack. So I knew, like, I was going to be, that's where I was going to school. And, you know, I was the MVP of the little region meet. He gave me that little scholarship. And this was late because, I mean, we at the region meet. You know, the states is in a week. So, I mean, school is out or almost out, whatever it was. And graduation was on the way, but I didn't even know where I was going to school yet. So that's I say all that to say the story, the doors never closed all the way. No matter if it's graduation time, whatever, you got to stay locked in and keep the main thing, whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Facts.
And yeah, the times is cool, but can you be developed? That's all. That's what I wanted, because we're at Howard, we're not getting nobody running 11.3, 11.4 out of high school. But we're going to try to get some 11.8s, 11.7, something like that, work with them a few years, and hopefully they can come out here to, the East Region meet or something like that, make some noise, be on the relay, be an All-American, do things like that, and you'll have a successful career.
That's what's up. It's about growing the athlete.
Yeah, you got to grow.
Yeah.
Nobody's the finished product when I don't care what you're running in high school. You're not the finished product because, I mean, you might be running 11.1 or something at 17. Like, what does that mean? You're going to run 10.5 at 22 or something like as a young woman?
Yeah.
Probably not. You're probably not running 10.5. So you probably go, maybe you can get to 10.9, 10, right environment, but you got to be okay with just taking some steps back in order to get the forward momentum to get whatever your ultimate goal is.
Yeah, Paris.
We talked about a lot of hurdlers, man, and you end up being one of the best hurdlers, not in American history, but just in history, period. It's just a handful of y'all. Who would you definitely say is your GOAT in hurdling?
Oh, Grant Holloway's the GOAT of the hurdles, period. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I said that before he even won Olympic gold medal. He didn't need it. I remember having a whole conversation about it. I don't remember where we were. Maybe World Championships or something, when it was in Oregon, I think. And I was like, I got eyes. I got eyes, man. I don't care what time, who got some medal, whatever. I know that's the best hurdler ever. And without a doubt, now it's without a shadow of a doubt. Now it's unquestionable. So but I knew for forever. I won't say forever because nobody knows. I mean, it's only been like
the
5, 6 years.
Yeah, the moment you saw it, he hadn't even arrived yet.
Man, yeah. It's like look at him. Like if you wanted to build a hurdler to, that's who you want him to look like.
Long jump, high jump,
man, come
400,
on, 4-1, all that.
650 in the 60.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I wish he would get on the Team USA 4x1.
That's what we were talking about, man.
I don't know, all the politics and all that stuff of it, and who even knows if he's interested in doing it, but I mean, why not? Or try to get on mixed 4x4. I don't know. Just collect all the medals.
He's interested. He talked about it on the pod.
Yeah, just collect everything.
He definitely talked about it.
But he's undeniable, man. It's just crazy. I don't think he lost the indoor race in like 10 years or something. It's crazy. But it's just great watching. I just love watching them run. And I mean, look at with Mouse as the coach guy, like the hell of a coach. So I just can't wait. Hopefully he can go like 1275 or 7. I don't know. Just take everything, man. Indoor, outdoor, win all the time.
Right up into the sunset.
Man, I mean, for real.
Yeah.
Honestly. So really look forward to that's the highlight is just to watch him run. If I see a meets coming, it's like Bolt when he was running for me. When he'd be at the meets and stuff, where I stop my warm to go look real quick and watch Usain or David Rudisha run the 800 and when they were really killing it, because you're never going to see stuff like that again.
Yeah.
It's just like you're never going to see a Grant Holloway ever again.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to stop and watch and you appreciate the greatness.
We told him that in this interview. I said, I don't think you understand what you and Mouse are creating right now. I said, you can't see it because you're in it.
Yeah, you never
I said, but
it.
people who know what you're doing or what you're creating in this time, we understand we're witnessing greatness, because he's doing like something that Bolt did but it's the hurdle, so people don't really look at it like that. He's dominating that event in that kind of way.
Yeah.
He has his win-loss column. He has so much more wins than losses.
Oh, my
which
goodness.
is crazy.
It's crazy.
Coming from high school.
Yeah.
Which is even crazier. So
yeah,
I definitely, I thought you were going to be like, oh yeah, my goat is Allen.
Well, Allen, I had to move him down. I'm a realistic dude. I had to move him to 2. But I mean, I'm a realistic guy, man. Because
I think all of you say the same thing about Grant, right?
All I'm saying is
but the fact is, Allen holds a special place in everybody's
heart.
True hurdler heart, because he not only possessed it, he taught it to everyone too.
And he did it for a long time. I mean, I think he was like 35 or something when he ran 12 seconds for the last time. I think he might have been 35.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's like, you know, like consistent you got to be able to do that is crazy, especially in that event. It's extremely hard on your body. And so I mean, Allen's always going to be up there just because that's who, you know, I quote unquote grew up in the sport watching, even though he was running at the same time. But, you know, that's you know who I use as a North Star of like what I'm supposed to be doing. Without he definitely didn't know.
He had all the swag too, bro. Put them shades on,
man. Yeah,
he was always slim, so he's able to wear the whole full bodysuit, the wrist all the way down to ankles, and still have full range of motion.
Yeah.
Listen. He did that, but man, David made the parachute shorts popular.
He
used to call little parachute shorts.
Them distance running shorts.
Satchel coming out on the hurdles and shit.
Because Nike changed the bodysuits one year because everybody used to wear like the bodysuit, whatever, like that, but they changed them one year and it was like a skinny piece on the back or something. And it was
on the butt part,
on the from the like in the from the top, neck down to it was like just real thin, and I was trying to put that over the shoulders. It's just like you just hear the stitches pop. Like I was like, I can't get this on. So I was like, to hell with it. And then the next thing was just that I pulled out of there was them shorts and then that little jersey, and I was like, okay, this is me, because we were going to a meet, I think Disney or something like that. And so I just had got the package. At the, probably, I don't know, the night before or something. So, it's so many boxes and, I wasn't going through all that. I just got it before we left to look for and get the uniform out to see if it was in there, and it was. And then I was like, yeah, this is something I'm aware.
So that's how you got it.
Yeah.
And ever since then, you was like, parachute shorts.
Exactly, yeah. Because the bodysuit changed. So it was like, and it's still, I mean, they probably changed that some, but by then it's like, this is just what I'm rock. Yeah. And it was so much easier because before you got to tape it strapped down so you could like move around. This, I just pulled the jersey out the bag, put it on with my bib number, and just get on the line. I don't got to do no extra zipping up and put the thing. I don't got to do no extra.
Right.
So that was it.
Man, but David, man, we appreciate our time with you, man. If you have any PSAs, man, that you want to tell your fans or kids or anything or where to find you, that's your camera right there.
Well, yeah, just appreciate the support over the years. Just keep supporting the Howard University track and field team. It's the best school to go to, especially for you young high school athletes. Go ahead, sign up, come on over here to Washington, D.C., have a hell of an experience on and off the track.
That's what we're talking about.
Hey, we got to bring them in, man. You're only as good as the talent you can bring in, right? Everybody talking about how we're doing and this, that, and the third, but it's only because of the athletes. It's just like coaches, right?
Yeah.
Who's the greatest coach? Who knows? Because maybe they just got the best athletes to work with. The greatest coach in the world may be a high school teacher or whatever coach that's dealing with these popular turning 17-second running young ladies into 12 500 runners. Nobody knows, so they just don't got the talent.
Never thought of that, bro.
So you got to have the talent. Yeah, I mean, why is the coaches that we talk about as the greatest? Because they got the great talent and they're able to get them to another level. So it's like they're unquestionable.
Yeah, that's just true.
But if we talking about college, it's like, how do we know they're so great? They might just have the greatest talent, the pick of the litter, just to take the best athletes, and who knows?
Yeah,
100%. Well, we definitely appreciate your time that you spent with us, man. David is definitely a good friend of Justin and I. We thank you for taking time us to sit here on our show, Ready, Set, Go, man. So, everybody, we appreciate you watching. Until next time on our show, Ready, Set, Go.